Today on KUJH News, Lawrence is experiencing its first snowfall of the season. We have details on how to prepare for the chilly weather. Also, arrests have been made in the robbery of a Missouri official's wife, the latest on the investigation. And the end of the year can also be the most stressful time of the year. Ways to help you relax during this busy season. KUJH News starts now.
From the University of Kansas, you're watching KUJH News.
For joining us, I'm Alana Flynn. Winter is here. The last week of classes on campus is greeted with the first signs of snow this season, and trust me, it was freezing. KUJH meteorologist Jacob Ashman is tracking the snowfall.
Well, guys, it took a while, but winter weather is finally here. You can see we had our first snow of the season, and earlier on Jayhawk Boulevard, it was really coming down, making for a chilly walk to class. Since some of those snow showers have pushed their way out of our area, leaving us with some minor flurries behind those showers. Overall, have about half an inch of accumulation, so it's been a light dusting of snow. But do we have any snow in our future? Stay with us. I'll have your full forecast coming up.
If you have to get out in the cold today, it is important to remember to stay safe. While the snow may not stick tonight, hopefully, students need to be prepared for cold weather in the near future. The CDC recommends wearing multiple layers with a hat, scarf, and gloves for protection from freezing temperatures. Wear shoes with traction to prevent slipping on ice patches. Don't overexert yourself because walking to class in cold weather can feel like you are using more energy than usual. Cold winter air is typically drier than other seasons, so it is harder on your lungs, so it's important to stay hydrated. Lawrence Public Schools typically release all names of employees who resign from their district. However, for one employee, the situation is a little different. KUJH reporter Caitlin Unger is live at South Middle School with details.
A questionable decision made by the Lawrence School District leaves many wondering why one faculty member's name was not publicly announced along with the 300 other resigning employees in 2016. It is unclear whether the unnamed resigning teacher is also the teacher at South Middle School who has been under investigation this semester for allegedly making racist remarks in class. This employee filed for resignation at the end of the school year. Executive Director of HR and Legal Services David Cunningham says the fact is that statutes protect the confidentiality of staff and students, and I can't share that information. Sometimes that puts me at a disadvantage. It leaves people wondering what exactly happened here, but I can't overcome that challenge simply because I'm a public entity and I'm still bound by confidentiality rules. The rest of resignation, retirement, and termination are all available to the public. From South Middle School, I'm Caitlin Unger.
It is unclear whether the school will release the name of the teacher after the investigation is complete. Lawrence City Commission denied incentives for the proposed downtown condo project at last night's meeting. Even though the Affordable Housing Advisory Board and the Public Incentives Review Committee both recommended the incentives, the commissioners denied them. They said the condos did not meet the criteria for the incentives. Commissioners argued the condos do not fall within workforce housing and therefore do not help the public good. On Monday, we looked at how college debt is affecting the overall net worth of millennials. KUJH reporter Marissa Khalil is live in the newsroom to tell us how we can potentially put an end to student loan debt.
College debt is affecting millennials and their ability to buy homes. It is also impacting their overall accumulation of net worth. However, two KU professors who have researched college debt may have a solution to ending the negative effects of student loan debt.
KU Associate Professor William Elliott says, for him, it is equality. He says people with student loans should not have to work harder in order to achieve the same goals.
Revisiting bankruptcy laws. In some situations, people are being forced to carry this debt when they just shouldn't be. Right? If you're not going to do a bailout, you can also work on some of the bankruptcy laws and allow some opportunities for relief in cases where it really makes sense.
Elliott says short-term solutions include things like reducing interest rates and income-based repayment plans. He also says we need a long-term solution to get rid of student debt as a way of financing higher education. Social welfare KU professor Melinda Lewis agrees.
Long-term, we think the evidence is clear that we need to pivot away from reliance on student debt and equip all children with the asset foundation that wealthier families use to facilitate their children's educational success.
Lewis and Elliott proposed that American households start children's savings accounts early on. The government would provide an initial deposit of $8,400. It would go into an account like a 401k. From there, the family would put $5 in the account every month. After 18 years, the account balance would be about $34,000, the cost to go to a public four-year college.
Right now we have an identity around going into debt and paying for college. It's building that identity around savings, which has implications not only for education, but broader society and our economic well-being as a country.
To finance this so-called free college plan, Elliott suggests the federal government put the initial $34 billion into an interest-bearing account. His plan actually builds assets along the way and also teaches people about financial institutions.
Compare that $34 billion to the $32 billion the government currently spends on Pell Grants. Reporting live in the newsroom, I'm Marissa Cleo.
Children with savings accounts who don't go to college will be able to use that money for building other assets. Police arrest 3 suspects in the armed robbery of the wife of Missouri Governor-elect Eric Greitens. Sheena Greitens came face-to-face with a gun-wielding robber Monday evening. After she parked her car, a man opened her door and demanded her phone and laptop. It didn't take police long to track the robbers. Investigators say 2 of the suspects are juveniles.
What happened to me and to our family last night happens to far too many people and far too many families across this city and this state, and that cannot continue.
Governor-elect Greitens has had a highway patrol security detail with him since the election. Now his wife will be protected by a trooper as well. Coming up on KUJH News, the president-elect tweets a government order, what he is demanding a certain company to do.
Plus, we have the latest on your winter weather forecast. You're watching KUJH News at 4.
Let me ask you a question.
It's really hard.
When you think of the American Legion, what comes to mind? Is it our volunteer programs that let wounded veterans know they're not forgotten?
I'm here to make sure our heroes know their sacrifice is not forgotten. I am the American Legion.
For nearly 100 years, the American Legion has been our nation's leading advocate for veterans and their families.
I am the American Legion.
This is today's American Legion.
To learn more, visit legion.org.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent. We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness. I am a witness. I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
It's probably not a surprise to many. President-elect Donald Trump is Time Magazine's Person of the Year. Time says Trump was the person deemed to have most influenced the year's news, for better or worse. Donald Trump wants to cancel a government order for a new Air Force One. Yesterday he tweeted, "Boeing is building a brand new 747 Air Force One for future presidents, but costs are out of control. More than $4 billion. Cancel order."
Well, the plane is totally out of control. It's going to be over $4 billion. It's for Air Force One program. And I think it's ridiculous. I think Boeing is doing a little bit of a number. We want Boeing to make a lot of money, but not that much money. Okay, thank you.
Boeing, the nation's largest exporter, has built the plane used by every president since Franklin Roosevelt. The company has not commented on the situation. Today marks the 75th anniversary of the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. Around 4,000 people attended the commemoration ceremony this morning, including 300 World War II veterans. Some of the survivors who were on board the USS Arizona, the ship that took 4 direct hits from Japanese planes, gathered yesterday to share their memories of that day.
We proceeded to go hand over hand across to the vessel, but 70, 80 feet, I don't know how I made it, but I'm here.
The ceremony began with a moment of silence at 7:55 a.m., the same time the Pearl Harbor attack began 75 years ago. Hawaiian jets ended the moment of silence, flying in missing man formation in honor of those who gave their lives in the attack. It's almost winter, and Lawrence isn't the only place seeing some snow this week. Take a look at this. In western Washington, snowfall forced several school districts to delay or cancel school. People are already breaking out their shovels, and snowplows are clearing the streets. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm hopeful a final or two gets canceled for me next week due to snow. Jacob, what can you tell me about that?
Well, Alana, I can't quite control the weather, not that good, but I can tell you that it's going to be very cold Thursday and Friday, absolutely frigid before things do begin to warm back up a little bit. It's going to make for a chilly weekend, however. First of all, though, look at how much snow we received. Obviously, we had our first snow of the year. I'm sure that's not a surprise to most of you. It was only a light dusting, but it could make for some isolated slippery roads. I actually saw a few cars skidding around on my way here. So if you're planning on going anywhere, just take extra precautions. Might want to drive a little bit slower than usual. And you can see, looking at our almanac, these colder temperatures are the reason we have been getting this snow. We're about 15 degrees below average for this time of year. But right now, 27 degrees, again, we're still having those light flurries outside. Those clouds have started to break up a little bit, but those northwest winds, 15 miles an hour, are making things very, very cold outside. It's going to be a chilly walk to class if you still have any left. But tonight, things get even colder, 18 degrees, and those northwest winds are still going to stay there, making for brutal wind chill temperatures, almost getting close to 0 degrees. So if you have a late night out tonight like myself going to Anschutz, bundle up because it's going to be chilly, not just chilly, very cold outside. Tomorrow, things don't look that much warmer. 9 a.m., 16 degrees. So if you have 8 or 9 a.m., again, bundle up. And those 12-mile-an-hour northwest winds are going to make for negative wind chill temperatures. You're going to want to break out a heavy jacket tomorrow. By 3 o'clock, things do warm up a little bit, but 7 o'clock hitting 20 degrees. Friday, 28, those cold temperatures are going to remain. So if you're studying on stop day, again, bundle up. It's going to be cold, but Saturday temperatures do recover a little bit. 41 degrees, partly cloudy skies before things cool off a tad on Sunday with 37 degrees. So it's going to be a chilly start to your finals week, Alana.
Thank you, Jacob. And now I know I'm going to need a bundle up for my 8 a.m. tomorrow, just like I did this morning. Wonderful. With finals quickly approaching, students are busy studying. Now imagine adding a practice schedule on top of that. KUJH reporter Talia Marquez found a student athlete who does it all.
College athletics is a time commitment that is both mentally and physically grueling. Yet it gives students the opportunity that financially they might not have been able to receive themselves. But then there are student athletes like Terry Huslik, a chemical engineering student receiving no financial benefits from track and field.
She's got a biochemistry class, she's got lots of different engineering and pre-med type classes, and all of the exams almost come the same week. To have a schedule where she can be at all of the practice with her teammates is virtually impossible, which, you know, on the athletic side can be really challenging because she's doing all the workouts on her own.
I'll go back, grab a quick bite to eat, and then go back to class. Sometimes from like 2:30 all the way till 6, because we have classes that go from 4 to 6. And then I grab a quick bite to eat, and I'm back at the engineering building studying until about like 11 or 12, if sometimes later.
After hearing her schedule on a regular basis, that leaves the question as to why. Why athletics? Why, if you have no aspirations to be a professional athlete, would you put yourself through those long days and even longer nights?
To handle and juggle all of those responsibilities help her in everyday life and will help her in her career later on, and employers really value that because she's already proving that she can handle all of the responsibilities that she has.
Each time I interviewed, they were so fascinated. They're like, tell me how you do both. You have to be extremely dedicated. And I'm extremely dedicated, and I have to plan out every single hour of my day so that I can accomplish what I want to, but I know that it's going to help me go far. It's giving me experiences that are going to help me go farther in life.
Reporting for KUJH News, I'm Talia Marquez.
Thanks so much, Talia. Nick, It's athletes like that that are academically and athletically driven that make KU so great.
And it's not just those athletes, it's every athlete, especially KU men's basketball last night. Accolades aplenty for them, another milestone for Coach Bill Self, and an Allen Fieldhouse record.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
When my youngest, Addie, was 2.5, she was diagnosed with leukemia. The doctor stopped by and said, well, it is leukemia. And then the next thing she said without even missing a beat was, and here's what we're going to do. We are so blessed and lucky to say that she is extremely healthy. I could not be more grateful for groups like the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. It was that research that let that doctor say, it's leukemia, and here's what we're going to do.
Back, Coach Bill Self earned his 600th career win last night as KU men's basketball continued their hot shooting streak from behind the arc. The Jayhawks made an Allen Fieldhouse record 15 threes. Coach Self said the 600th win is just another milestone.
You know, to get that many wins, which, you know, in the big scheme of things, it's not a milestone because there's so many guys that got more than that. But it's a pretty significant number. And knowing that I think we've been a head coach now for this is our 24th year, so 23 and a third years, and to have that number, that's pretty significant.
The Jayhawks took down UMKC last night, 105-62. Kansas came out against the Roos shooting 56% from three. They improved their shooting from the last time out against Stanford. Senior point guard Frank Mason tied a career high in points with 30. Three other Jayhawks scored in double figures. Devontae Graham had 18 points on 6 of 6 from three, and Josh Jackson finished with a double-double with 19 points and 12 rebounds. Kansas will play an old Big 12 foe in Nebraska Saturday afternoon in the Fieldhouse. After a 2-game road stand against Creighton, Alabama, KU women's basketball will return to the Fieldhouse tonight to take on Harvard. Kansas comes in tonight with a 3-4 record on the season. Harvard is 7-1. The biggest problem all year for the Jayhawks has been shooting. They are just 34% from the field, and it doesn't get much better from behind the arc. The Jayhawks shoot under 30% from the three-point land. Junior transfers Mackenzie Calvert and Jessica Washington will look to turn that around as they are the only double-digit scorers at 16 and 11 points per game, respectively. Thursday Night Football is at Arrowhead tomorrow night, and it's a big one. The Chiefs will tie the Raiders for the AFC West lead with a win. The Raiders have not beaten the Chiefs since 2014 when Oakland was 0-10. That game was in Oakland, and it was Derek Carr's first career win. The last time the Raiders won in Arrowhead was 2012 in a 26-16 defensive showcase. Coach Andy Reid says both of these teams know each other, and every year it's a repeat. Execution always plays a factor. Even though we won't be in class once finals come to an end next week, there are still many KU sporting events to look forward to over winter break, including Big 12 play starting in basketball. First, on the men's side, here are 3 games to watch over the break. Kansas State comes into Lawrence in the first installment of the Sunflower Showdown. Both of these games are always entertaining every year, and they always are interesting. Oklahoma is coming off a year where they lost Buddy Hield to the draft, but still having a strong year, sitting at 6-2. Oklahoma State has the Big 12's leading scorer in Juwan Evans, who right now averages 24 points per game. On the women's side, it will be a little bit difficult. The first 3 Big 12 games are a tough one. Oklahoma remains ranked in the top 25 after an upset to Oral Roberts. The Sooners are still projected to finish top 3 in the conference. Baylor's starting 5 averages in double figures, and they are a defensive powerhouse, holding their opponents under 40 points in 8 of their 13 games this season. Not to forget, Baylor also has preseason All-American Nina Davis. Texas has a losing record on the year, but still outscores opponents. Their big presence inside can cause KU some issues. Their center, Kelsey Lang, averages 7 rebounds and 11 blocks on the season. Closing out events over the break, the track team continues the indoor season hosting the Bill Easton Classic in Andrews Pavilion on January 6th, and then on to the Kansas Triangular in Wichita against the Wildcats and Shockers on the 12th. The 4x4 meter relay team will be the must-see event in both meets. The women's relay team of Nicole Montgomery, Mariah Kukendall, Adrian Newell, and Whitney Adams set a facility record with a time of 3:42.89 at the Bob Timmons Challenge last weekend. Trey Daniels returns to the men's team after an injury-plagued 2016 season. He'll round out the All-Star lineup alongside Shamar Livingston, Ivan Henry, and Jerron Hartley. There are plenty of sports to watch, but we have to remember these athletes are students as well, just like us, and they prepare for finals too.
How many finals do you have, Nick?
I have 2 and a 9-page paper.
Jacob?
3 and an 8-page paper, so I have a busy week.
Yeah, both of you sound like you have busy weeks, which is important to keep in mind because this is our last KUJH show of the year and the semester's almost over. And our KUJH reporter Sam Alla tells us why we shouldn't fret when it comes to the last week of class.
But winter is coming. We know what's coming with it.
Finals week. It's officially among us. A season that creates stress for college students everywhere. KU student Mitch George has his own unique tips to distress before the dark week of finals.
The thing I'm resorting to the most to kind of relieve my stress is I watch a lot of The Office. Try to eat more healthy than I normally do around finals week just to, I don't know, keep myself feeling healthy.
Nothing says stress-free like some episodes of The Office and eating a good healthy dose of lettuce. You might not want to eat lettuce plain, but eating healthy will definitely lead to a prepared body for finals. Though your wallet may take a hit.
I'm a firm believer that your bank account is secondary to your grades come final week.
George said he'll go out with friends to restaurants and treat himself before locking himself in his room for 5 days straight. However, if George's list of watching The Office and eating healthy doesn't distress you, try the list the University Daily Kansan came up with, which can be found on www.kansan.com. Through all the stress, just remember the holidays are just around the corner, and soon you'll be in front of a fireplace, sipping on some cocoa. Okay, now I'm distressed. From a cozy spot, Sam Ola, KUJH News.
Thank you, Sam. How are we going to distress after finals, gentlemen?
After I finish my last paper, I'm just going to kick back, play some Xbox, forget about the semester completely.
Forget about it, okay?
Yeah, I'm going to sleep for like 12 hours, and like Nick, try to forget that anything ever happened.
So we're erasing the entire semester,
Yes.
that's what you're
That's what
telling
we're
me?
saying.
Okay, I'm totally in for that, yeah. Well, that's all we have for today. Thanks for tuning in for the last KUJH News show of the semester. For the last time, I'm Alana Flynn. Happy holidays.